Hey guys, I'm going to be showing you how to create an email client with Django. Um, why you might want to do this is a lot of front-end clients, Mail.js, I think is one of them. A lot of them, they might have free tiers, but they become paid pretty quickly. Really, honestly, you can very easily set up your own email client with Django. So if you have like a personal project or like a small business, where you're doing your own website, you really don't need to use any money to set up an email client. Where if you want like an email list, uh, some email subscribers, anything like that. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna set up a backend where when you hit the endpoint, it's going to send us an email like saying, "Hey, someone submitted a form." All right. Okay. And you can take it from there to do whatever needs you need. So if you're not too familiar with Django, the nice thing is this will show you how to set up. You won't need to like learn much about Django to do it. Just follow along and you should be good to go. And from there, if you just have some coding experience, you'll be able to figure out how to get it to fit your needs. Um, okay, so let's start our Django project. Django admin. So prior to doing this, I have Django and I have Python installed. So I'll put a link in the description how to install those two. Django admin start project Django sample app. I'm going to try to do this a little bit quickly. And in a separate video, I'll do a version where I slow down and I explain like what's happening. Um, all right. Uh, we've done it. We've created our app. Yep. So we need to install two libraries, or maybe more than two. I don't remember. Django REST framework. All right, and what was it called? Cores. And the second library you need to install. This is in case you get any cores headers errors. Um, Django cores headers. Again, I think I have both of these. Yeah, I have both of these installed. So, but yours is gonna load it if if you haven't had this already. All right, so we have those two installed. I think those are the only ones we need to install. So we've created our project. Let's open it. Okay, settings. Oh, let's create start app email client. So in the settings, we're going to add the app we just created. And I think that's so far, that's all that is. We will go over some, actually we can do that now. So you're going to need to add, so since we're dealing with emails, you're going to need to add configuration so that, Django can use your email. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to create an app password. Um, I'll include a link on how to do that. It's pretty straightforward. You just need to have like two-factor authentication on your Google account. This is assuming you're using a Gmail account. Once you create that two-factor authentication, you can create what's called an app password, and I'll show you where you will use that app password. So, email. I have them copy pasted. Oh, sorry. All caps. Email backend. Django. Oops. Django.core.mail.backends.smtp.email backend. Okay. These are just all configuration things, so just do as I'm doing. smtp.gmail.com. Oops. Email port 587. Email host user. This is where you're going to put I can make that a little bit. You're going to put your email, the email you're going to be using to send those emails. All right, that's what you're going to put here. Email host password. Now you don't put your actual email password here, or it's not going to work. You need to put your app password here. Okay. Now, fair warning. Put your app password here. Fair warning. If you're doing local testing, fine. You can copy paste your app password directly here and use it. But if you're pushing to GitHub, or if this is like a personal project, like a small, personal project, small business, whatever, you really don't want to just have it there. You want to set up like a properties file or something. Basically, you want it to be hidden. Okay, you don't want to show this. Treat it as your own password. There you go. There, that'll yeah. And you can look up how to like if I can do a separate video on how to do like a properties file so you can create a bunch of like hidden values. Basically, it really is what it is. It's a file that you're gonna get a value from, right? But that file is not available in GitHub. Okay, you put that in your GitHub ignore, basically. Okay, so we've done the config. These are the configurations you need to send emails with Django. Again, just put your email and your app password here. All right, so as far as settings for now should be good. Let's go to email client. Let's go to models. What we're going to do is we're going to create a sorry, my brain is farting. We're going to create capital C. In addition to sending the email, we're going to save that content of a form, whatever is coming from your front end, from a form or something, into a database, into the SQLite database that's already configured by default. Okay. Email. Okay. You can. This will be the name of the table. Okay, and you can name it. You can name it whatever you want, really. But we name it singular because it'll already add the s at the end. I'll show you what I mean when we look at the table in the admin. Okay, so let's say we have full name. Maybe that's one of the entries coming from your form. Models.char field max length is 150. Email. Their email that they type in for replies. Models.email field. Maybe also I'll link in the description Django documentation, all the different fields you can have. There's a lot and they're really useful. The documentation is really easy to read and it's really, really, straightforward. And message, the actual body. Sorry, my Teams is going off. Okay, and then this function might look a little weird if you're not familiar, but for now, just do it. I'll show you what that is in later. We're going to use full name. Okay. I think our models are good. So we've created the schema for our table, our email table, right? We've not done anything with emails yet. We're about to. So we go to, oh, before I forget, let's import this. Did that wrong. Import email. And let's register that. So comment this out. Dot site dot register. I think it's email. Oh, mistake. Don't put quotes. Okay, I'll show you why we're doing this later. That's all you need to do there. All right, so now let's create the actual endpoint. That's going to be done here. I'm going to import a couple of things. The library for sending emails is django.core.email import send email. All right, so we need that. Another thing we need is from the REST framework, the one that we just installed, import API view. And also from REST response. Import response. Okay. Oh, hold on. Decorators. Okay. What's wrong with this? Oh, maybe I need to install something. Okay, we'll take a look at that later. Is that right? Why is that? Oh. Okay. I thought I didn't need to install anything additional. Okay. View. And we're going to do parentheses, square brackets, post. We're going to do a post. We're going to make this accept post calls. Now we do a function to run when this endpoint is triggered. New email submission. You can name it whatever you want. It's going to take in an argument request. That is the request that is coming from your front end. Okay. What did we have? All right, so I'm going to do this for anyone who's less familiar. I'm going to do this one step at a time. So I'm going to create variables. So again, this is the request coming from your front end. Okay. So imagine your form has full name, email, message, or whatever other fields. You're sending those here in a JSON payload, right? In this request. So we're going to extract those values into variables. So I'm going to create a variable called full name equals request.data.get. I'm going to get the key value. And I'll explain this in a second. Email equals, because you might need to change, you probably will need to change that. Data.get email and message equals, oops. Okay. So in the JSON that you're sending from the front end, whatever key, whatever key you're using for that field, you need to use it here. Okay. So if it's in camel case or if it's an entirely different thing, you need to put that here. All right. So now, so this function is going to do two things. It's going to create an entry in the database, and it's going to actually send the email. So let's do the create entry in the database thing. From.models import email. Email.objects.create. So now we're actually creating that entry. Full name. This full name is going to be equal to full name. This full name, which is this. So this field is going to be equal, is going to use the value of your, response from the front end. Email equals email, same thing, and message equals message. Now, yes, you don't have to extract them into variables first. You can just, put it directly, but I just did it, for anyone less familiar. All right, we're going to do a try catch, send email. This is where we're actually sending the email. The subject of the email we'll say is a formatted string. New email from full name. All right. The message is just the body, the message. The from email So the email that you're gonna send with, okay. So now in this for demonstration purposes, all this app is gonna do is when you hit this endpoint, it's going to send an email to yourself saying, "Hey, an entry was someone sent like a form was submitted, uh, database entry was created, and this is the contents." Okay. So in your case, you can change this to whatever your needs are. But the from email is I'm going to use it as the same email that I'm going to put uh, in here, right? And I'll do that later, so you guys are not looking. Okay. Recipient list. This is the people that are going to get this email. So you can do it more than one. But in this case, I'm going to do it just to myself, which I will also put in later. Okay. All right. I think that's everything that we need. Now we need to finish off. Except we'll say return response error sending email. Okay. And if everything was good, return response sent email successfully. And let's do status equals status dot. And let's do the same thing here, actually. And we need to, from rest. Is that, yep, I think that should be good. Okay, so do we have everything? I think we have everything for the views. Again, just put the appropriate values here. Okay, so we have the views. We have, basically, we have the endpoint. We have the model. We need the URLs now. Yes, that's right. So we're going to create a file, urls.py. Okay. And from Django.urls import path from dot import views. All right, so this is where we actually specify the endpoint to call that will trigger our function. URL patterns, path, and we'll say contact. And I think Django can be a bit picky about things, so just go ahead and put a forward slash, comma, views dot this one, the function, which function to call. Yeah, I think that should be good. All right, and if you have more, if you have different, you can add more endpoints. And then in our parent URL, we need to import that. We need to like include that basically. So add include to this import. All right, this is good. Only thing we need to add path. Leave it empty. Single quotes, leave it empty. Include. Sorry, I'm just itching my eye. Email client dot URLs. Right, that should be good, I think. Yeah, you want to do that in single quotes. Okay, we did the URL endpoint, we did the email configuration, we did the endpoint, we did the database. Okay, So before I actually test this, I saved everything. Yep. We need to do Python 3 manage.py make migrations since we did changes to the database. What's happening? Okay, cannot import name Django core mail. Why is that? Okay, I think there. Okay, try that again. Okay, so I created that. Python 3 manage migrate. All right. Okay, so I think backend wise we're all good. If I run into anything, we'll come back to that. But let's go to testing now. So we will run this, and then we're gonna call this endpoint and give some values, and let's see if we get anything. I just remember one more thing. We were talking about Django core headers. So if you're calling this endpoint from an external, sorry, if you're calling this endpoint from an external application, you might get like this core's header or something. So we already did pip install for that. We just need to set it up now. Okay. So you need to do a couple of things, all I think in the settings file. Let me put these together so it's not so jumbled. All right, so here we need to add that, comma, cores headers. That's it. Cores headers. Let me just make sure I spelled that right. In middleware, you're going to need to add something. I'll put it in the description. It's just something you need to copy and paste. Oops. These two. Again, I'll put those in the description. Oh, it looks like, hold on. Looks like this is actually already here, so I don't think we need to copy this one. This is not, yeah. So we just need this course headers one. I'll put that in the description so you can just copy paste it. Again, goes in middleware, and then I think one more thing is we need to specify who's allowed in these in these calls. So it's by the way, it's not just allowed hosts up here who's allowed to hit this endpoint. So cores allowed origins equals, and then you put it in here. So if you're testing locally, that'll be like localhost 3000 or something. But you can put whatever your URL is here. So I'll just put this for if you're wondering. But yeah, you just put your full URL here. So it will allow that, and you can make calls successfully. Again, that's just if you're getting the course error. Okay, so I'm gonna actually put in values for the email configuration, and we can go ahead and test it. If you want to actually view these database entries, create super user, I think. I'll do ontologist. Okay. Create super user, I think. Okay, hold on. I think without the username. So I think just create super user. So creating the admin account right now, ontologist. Email address at gmail.com. Yes. That might be a hint as to what the password is. Anyways, so I created the admin. Let's go to a browser. Oh, I need to. All right, so I might need to hold on. I know I did it before. Now that we created an admin, we need to do them again, and we can on server go to the localhost 1000 admin. password. Okay. Emails. There we there. Okay. So yeah, there you go. Okay, so I'm gonna test this again. So I'm gonna test it locally. So I'm gonna do Python 3 manage.py run server. So I'm gonna run the server, and I have a curl command that I'm gonna use to test this. Okay, so it's a little bit small, but basically it's a post call. This is the endpoint, the one that we specified, and content type and all that stuff. And here's the fields: full name, email, and message. And I, by the way, I put in all the necessary app password and configuration stuff, and your recipient list and stuff. I put those in. So okay, it said email sent successfully. I'm waiting for a notification sound. There you go. An email from John Doe. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much it. So basically, um, this is essentially a free way to set up an email client. And if you want to actually take this to a larger scale and to use it, you can set this project up with like Pythonanywhere for free. And since this is a backend, a resource, you don't need like a custom domain and stuff. This is not the domain that your users are gonna see. Yeah, so hopefully you found this helpful. If you do want to set this up with Django, there's a very useful video on how to set up a Python app, a Django app on Pythonanywhere. I'll link that in the descriptions too. And yeah, take a look if you guys want. But otherwise, if you found this helpful, please subscribe to support the channel. And let me know if any questions or anything in the comments.